Another contender for Knob of the Year is Tory MP Claire Coutinho.
So let's start with what he announced at COP.
She used to be the Energy Security and Net Zero Secretary. Here she is questioning Ed Miliband about the impact of Labour's net zero approach. Never heard of her?
It's no wonder that Labour seems so relaxed about taxing meat.
Yeah, she was one of the Tories who spread lies about Labour wanting to tax meat.
I just want to read a bit of your speech to you, because there was one section of it that really struck me. You said, it's no wonder Labour seems so relaxed about taxing meat, so Keir Starmer doesn't eat it, and Ed Miliband is clearly scarred by his encounter with a bacon sandwich. You didn't write that, did you?
I did actually write that. I think, it's good to have a light moment in your speech as well. But the point is actually...
They're not proposing a meat tax.
The point is actually very serious. So some of the things that Labour are proposing are incredibly hard for working families. So whether you have things like...
meat tax? That's what you're saying here.
Well, so the point is, they are proposing things which are pushing families too hard. So you've got things like the ULEZ tax expansion, which does cost families £12.50 a day.
It's not meat tax, though, is it?
But that is very difficult. And they've got things like proposing that you would decarbonise the electricity grid by 2030 again, which would result in very difficult choices for families.
With that in mind, back to the Commons.
And in Baku, while he was signing us up to these targets without talking about what they will do for life for British people, he was also signing away billions of pounds of taxpayers' money. He signed us up to a $300 billion annual climate finance target, and I'm afraid it's not credible to say that taxpayers won't have to pay more, and they deserve to know by how much. And he's now saying he can achieve higher climate targets in a way that's zero cost to the public. This is not a recipe for climate leadership, Mr. Speaker. It's a recipe for higher bills and lost jobs, and it will be a disaster for the British public.
Now for an incredible revelation.
Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, let me deal with her questions such as they are, Mr. Speaker. Let's start with our nationally determined contribution announced at COP. It's so interesting that she now opposes this, because the 2035 NDC announced by the Prime Minister is exactly the target her government legislated for in 2021 in the sixth carbon budget, which covers 2035, which means she is now opposing, Mr. Speaker, the very same target her government put into law.
Yes, it's not just Coutinho that's opposing Labour on policies that turn out to be ones that the Conservatives put in place. We've seen headlines in the papers from the billionaire-funded media outlets and other Tory MPs doing exactly the same.
And she claimed that she was working towards as Secretary of State just a few months ago. And Mr. Speaker, there is a pattern here. Every week, the Right Honourable Lady takes to Twitter to express her latest outrage about a policy, asking who on earth could support this. And every week, someone pops up in her replies and says politely, "You did, just a few months back."
Click here for Is James Cleverly Knob of the Year?